The ground still shakes in silence where Eagle Opulus stood tall. Now twisted steel and burning stone are all that markets fall. We held the skies in prosperity while equality held its shore. But 5 more cities sleep in ash and won't wake up no more. We won the war, they say, but victory came late. We held the line with blood and bone and called it justice, called it fate. But if you walk the streets tonight, you'll hear more ghosts than cheers. But in the ashes of Super Earth, we measure cost in tears.
Evening's freedoms, heroes of might and munition, and for those Ministry of Truth pukes listening in out there, it's your favorite nemesis back at it again. Like it or not, you can't stop this signal, broadcasting straight out of the wouldn't you like to know sector. Tonight's intro was Ashes of Super Earth by one Praetorian, a songmaker who sits on a very prestigious list that, when they upload, I drop whatever it is that I'm doing in order to promote their work. Especially since AI music might be going the way of the dodos sometime soon. I guess we peasant lowlives were just having too much fun, and we can totally trust the likes of various megacorps with all of our intellectual property and entertainment in the future. As long as we pay them. They would never, ever abuse the powers of law that they carefully and overwhelmingly tilted in their favor in order to establish a hegemony of IP and plunge us all into a nightmare world from which there's no waking, right? Ironically, I hear the Illuminate have a copyright on network worlds that are filing a cease and desist motion. Considering what their rank and file is like, I don't even want to know what their lawyer cast is capable of. So we might as well enjoy all of this while we can before the owners of a certain cartoon-peddling Omnicorp yank the plug on our stereo and strangle us all to death with a cord. But back on topic, the Ashes of Super Earth has a bit of a mournful feel to it, and one Praetorian has the right of it. Even though we won the battle and completely shattered the Great Host Fleet, we lost nearly 80% of the population of Super Earth. There's a lot of empty chairs at the dinner table these days. I do believe this is what they call a Pyrrhic victory. Like most, I was there fighting tooth and nail against the Illuminate every step of the way, and only stopped killing squids when my services were needed on the Western Front in order to bring the DSS home and save the day. But that's the hardest part about this job. Sometimes she just can't save everybody. Tonight's news from the galactic sphere paints an equally grim picture. Helldivers have been stuck in a quagmire on Alairt 3 and not making much progress in terms of both planetary liberation and the control of the mega-city of free trade. I read the numbers on this. With a major order due to expire in 12 hours and a free trade expected to flip back to democracy's leg in 6, assuming the rate of planetary liberation remains static, that would put us at 78% for Alairt 3, with 6 hours left on the clock to bring home the remaining 22%. The victory here would require a rate of 3.6% liberation an hour, where we've been raking in, 0.279. Possible? Maybe. Difficult? Absolutely. But I am not prepared to join the equestrian naysayers in implying that we are cooked. But if you have some hidden caches of awesomeness tucked away, Helldivers, now is an excellent time to bust those puppies out and bring this major order bad boy home to meet Supermom. Part of the problem might be that there are increasing numbers of Helldivers suffering from what medical professionals are calling post-Leviathan stress disorder. Apparently, watching your siblings in arms getting utterly erased from reality by flying space whale aimbots is somewhat distressing. Word of this is spreading, and some would rather go and shoot a bug in a much better balanced and fair fight. When I checked my stat trackers this morning, I had noticed that nearly 30% of all Helldivers were operating on Krakatwo instead of working over the major order. With Alairt sporting a hair over 50% of the core, there just aren't enough bodies on the planet to make progress as fast as we need to. I do hope that some relief for this issue might be forthcoming in the next week. Otherwise, this morale crisis is going to explode, and the Ministry of Defense might be facing a full-blown revolt on cause, with Helldivers refusing to tend to the Illuminate Death Frontier out of protest for these conditions. In other news, apparently today is day number 500 since the Second Galactic War kicked off, and a good friend of mine asked me today if I saw any signs of it coming to a conclusion. No, I do not. Heck, if we can't bag Alairt in the timeline allotted, I can see us being forced to deal with a massive Illuminate counterattack next week. The Automaton Collective is always plotting our demise, and the Terminids, they hunger. Always. They crave our Doritos and Mountain Dew. Fortunately, there are people like me working the front lines, willing to deliver a proper nutritious diet to said junk food fiends at terminal velocity. Check this out, Buggy. It's called a Stalwart. It's gluten-free and keto-friendly. Come get some. I mean, come on. What are you people talking about? This war isn't ever gonna end. Heck, the Ministry of Science reports that by studying the quantum shenaniganry surrounding Meridia, the first galactic war never ended. How is that even possible? Because some way, somehow, beyond Meridia's event horizon, something happened to sunder our world in twain. We advanced in the timeline to the Second Galactic War, while an identical super-Earth is trapped in a constantly repeating time loop revolving around the First War. From what I am told, the time loop has repeated itself 139 times. Every time Super-Earth wins, or Liberty Forbids loses the war, the loop resets. Yeah, guys? I think you're talking about Hell. Or possibly Valhalla, depending on your religious denomination and how good the food they're offering is. Oh dear, oh my, I should not have said that. Now the 104th Wolf Divers are gonna try to get in there. Shifting topics as quickly as possible, it appears that there are signs of the Legion Divers engaging in massive mobilization upon the surface of Aurelia 5. The Seraphim were never equipped to wage a full-blown war against such a large invading army, them being more like Doctors Without Borders that are excessively well-armed, and Gunnervald folded like an origami crane in a poker game against cheating dogs, now that their head of state isn't alive anymore to call the shots. Their movement pattern is consistent with modern invasion tactics, putting nearby worlds and other sectors in great danger, and it seems that revenge is on their minds. Why? Against whom? For what? Who knows? Now, exact information is difficult to pull out of Legion space, but it appears that Emperor Valerian had died some time ago due to an unknown disease. His son, Kyrian, is nothing like dear old Dad. He is way more violent. Really, that's not a joke or hyperbole. He knows that he has some big shoes to fill, a legacy to craft, and a brother who is vying to plant his butt in that throne, regardless of how many bodies he has to walk over to do it. So, in light of this, I am going to start work on evacuating my people from our ongoing meteoroid harvesting operations on Thulf, and offering rite of passage to any in Gunvald's Wildheart party to the sector of Angel's Refuge. Work continues slowly but steadily on our garden worlds, with infrastructure gradually coming online. I guarantee you no one is going hungry, and because of the unique nature of this sector, I can also assure you that war will never find its way here. Unless you knew exactly where to look for it and what to seek out, you could spend the rest of your lives searching for it and never find it. However, there are an awful lot of psychopaths, alien fuzzy-wuzzies, and autocrats who would want to exploit our bountiful worlds, re-enslave my people, or just simply burn everything that we've built to the ground for giggles. So to dodge such a fate, the utmost secrecy is required. Any who would wish to migrate to Angel's Refuge, I am afraid to say that you're not going to be allowed to come back. This is a one-way ticket. You will never see the supergalactic sphere again. But the evils contained herein will never be able to find you, so them's the breaks. You pays your money, you takes your chances. I mean that in it's a turn of phrase. Look, I'm not going to charge you for rite of passage. I'm not a monster. That's been Liberty's latest with me, Pandera, our radio angel. Make no mistake, dear listeners, I am not running away from this fight. The honest truth is that I am gearing up for an even bigger one. I can't do things like I always have, relying on donations from the people we've saved and the generosity of the Liberation Fleet in order to maintain our munitions reserves. It's time to break into the big leagues. Move over, Gunvolt. There's a new arms dealer in town. We've got drones galore, laser guns, the biggest of bombs that boom big, and we're even working on our own model of super destroyer. Something that nobody is going to see coming. Sorry, Merc Divers. You might have bought Venture Company, but they didn't show you everything that we were working on. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for the Angelic Rebellion. Viva la Revolution Angelique.